Chat. Now, a 32 pack of Reese's? You just gonna eat that? Come on, guys. A little self-control here. 32 pack, though? 32 king-size Reese's bars. You really... God. I fucking love Reese's, too. Reese's is so good. Don't you dare judge me. Just took the dogs for a quick walk. Again, we're watching the sister-in-law. We got her dog over here right now. Just to let the puppies have some playtime together, you know? Bam, 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 bam. It was on sale. I couldn't afford to not eat it. Let's be real. Did we get all the way back to Lowtown? Well, would you look at that? You know, it's funny. My wife loves Reese's, but very specific Reese's. She doesn't mind the cups, you know. She really doesn't like the mini Reese's, like the M&M style Reese's, the bites or whatever they call them. She hates those, but she definitely has preferences. She can do the cups, but it's the Reese's eggs and the trees, the ones they do at Easter and Christmas, and she swears they taste different. And I know you can get like mint flavored and stuff like that Reese's, but she's dead set that just the normal Reese's egg is a different flavor than the normal Reese's. I just don't see it. I don't see it, dude. There's a greater peanut butter to chocolate ratio in the eggs. I don't notice it. Toxic Lily. Would you state that the Reese's eggs and trees taste different because it has a different peanut butter?
It's a thin layer of chocolate and then a whole bunch of peanut ratios different. And on all the other ones, Cal is comparatively thick to the...
Winterwind is saying that that's how the big cups are. So you don't have to wait until Easter.
The big cups are really good. Like, you don't have to eat all of the outer... Yeah.
You really think
Except for the outer ring.
You think so?
Yeah, if you push the center out of the outer ring, it's perfect. Or if you cut it in half and start from the middle.
Perfect. Perfect. The big cup with Reese's Pieces is an orgasm for your mouth. That's saying a lot. I'll tell you what my favorite is. Sonic Blast with Reese's. I'm a big M&M fan. M&M's is where it's at for me. There it goes. Can't believe he parried that. Nice. Everywhere it's as if be for the Shadowlands, I think Sylvanas is trying to finish what she couldn't do in Legion with saving the Forsaken. She says something about the world is a prison and she will free them. Okay, so that kind of makes sense for why she did what she did with Shadowlands, but why did she attack Teldrassil? Here's my problem, is that attacking Teldrassil, the only reason you do that is saying, like, I am doing it for the Horde, but even members of the Horde were like, probably shouldn't do that. She did it anyways. And nothing about attacking and burning down Teldrassil helps her in her goal of saving the Forsaken. I don't think that can be explained. Again, I think that they're just trying to do things that kind of shake up the world. And they didn't really think about it. Well, we weren't back on it till Goatslayer brought it up. Now we back on it. What explanation do you think? Also, in like her like spitting in the face of the Horde, like, yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. But for that to work, though, the Night Warriors have to be pivotal, and that was one of the questions I was asking earlier. Did the Night, like, we could say that she had a vision or she saw the future or some shit, but that means the Night Warriors would have to be pivotal to either defeating Inzoth or they were pivotal to her saving the Forsaken. Yeah, they were a legend, but like, if she had a vision or a sneak peek at the future that told her that by attacking the Night Elves like that would drive, it would be the push they needed to unlock the Night Warrior, there's a point for summoning the Night Warrior. Like, and I could see if, like, in the final raid against Inzoth, and I haven't seen the fight against Inzoth, so this might be the case, and I just don't know it. But, like, if Tyrande, as the Night Warrior, Night Elf, runs in there, and she has the power to be able to destroy Inzoth, right? Then we could say that, like, okay, Sylvanas saw into the future, and she saw the only way that we could defeat Inzoth is if we had a power level that strong. But I don't know, I did a little bit of reading, and it didn't seem like that was the case. I guess my point is like, her awakening the Night Warriors by doing that, sure, I'm willing to buy that, but why? To what ends? What are the Night Warriors supposed to do for us? And I don't think it's something that's going to reveal itself in the next expansion, because Blizzard's always been pretty good about, like, they end an expansion with a singular thread that starts the next expansion, and then everything's self-contained. I don't think they plan on dragging over another sub-story of the Night Warriors into Shadowlands. That began and ended. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. Maybe she's replaced by a Dreadlord. Confirmed. Wait, WoW has the storyline it used to. It fucking used to. Dude, I'm getting kind of sick and tired of fighting these guys, I gotta be honest. Just trying to get out of here. And then Belly had my interest a little bit when he was telling me Paladins are getting auras back, and then I look it up, and the auras that we're getting back are a fucking slap in the face. Our auras used to fucking matter in combat, and the two auras they're giving us, like, if I remember correctly, one's like a movement speed or something. Like, it's fucking stupid. The auras they're giving us, I think one was like, that helped healers. Dude, like, give me back Devotion and Retribution aura, or get the fuck out of my face. Don't. Ooh, treasure chest. Like, I'm miffed that they did that. Like, Paladins for a long time have said it. We miss our auras, we miss our auras, we miss our auras. And then, like, Blizzard's like, you mean this? And it's just literally a plate with dog shit on it. And we're like, yeah, I fucking guess. Ugh. Figure it out, Ash. Figure it out. Yikes. Mudda. Oh, we're getting close. You good? He's happy at 198. That's it. I'm done. I am not fighting any more of these fucks. I'm not doing it. It's the ghost rolling up on us. That's the problem. Do your thing, girl. Fuck. Nope, sorry. Don't have time for you. Bye. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, bottom line for WoW is you got to get the gameplay right. You got to get the gameplay cycle correct. You got to make it fun. You got to make it interesting. That's your top and first priority. But if you want to make an expansion memorable and good, the story has to be there too. World of Warcraft had it because it had really good quests. Wrath of the Lich King had some of the best gameplay in the entire history of World of Warcraft, and it had really good story. Like, and the way they told the story. In World of Warcraft Classic, it's just like boxes of text and boxes of text, boxes of text. In Wrath of the Lich King, they started this whole, like, you're on a Disneyland ride thing where you're kind of like here and shit's happening around you and characters are yelling at each other at a distance and you're watching shit play out in the assault for Icecrown Citadel and you're going and you're finding Muradin and stuff like that. There's just so much cool shit happening in Wrath. And the gameplay was fucking on point, too. And then I think Legion was another good example. There was so much, like, single-player story content you could consume by being the leader of your class faction and all that. And this whole, like, oh, we got to do this and that for the Legion, yada yada. Like, it was good story content. And I feel like we're really distracted and spread thin on the story in Battle for Azeroth. It's kind of like, they hate each other, so they fight a lot. And, okay. Why did they do that? Because they hate each other? Okay, so... Alright, the same reason the Horde and the Alliance have been fighting in PvP since 2004. Got it, okay. Right, well, why did they do that? Because they hate each other. Alright. Fuck this. I'm out. The most memorable points in the history of World of Warcraft have been when the gameplay was good and the story was good. Like, I think of Mist of Pandaria was a good example where the gameplay was good, but the story wasn't something that people were super interested in. I don't think the story was bad, but I just think the majority of people who play World of Warcraft aren't looking for a heavy Asian influence storyline. And if you are, that was a pretty good, like, Eastern story that they told there. I think the demographic kind of wasn't really hungry for that. But Mist of Pandaria was good gameplay, not great storyline. Wrath of the Lich King, great gameplay, great story. Cataclysm, bad on both fronts. Outland, good story, bad gameplay. What did we have after Cataclysm? We had Mop. Just talked about that. Then what did we have? We had Warlords of Draenor. Good storyline, bad gameplay. I think the Warlords of Draenor storyline was fucking bomb. I really like that. And then what do we have after that? Legion. Great story and great gameplay. Battle for Azeroth? Bad both. Yeah, I think that's the problem, right? Like, that it was predictable. Like, when's the last time World of Warcraft story caught you off guard? I'll tell you what it was for me. Tyrion getting killed. Tyrion getting killed at the beginning of Legion blew my mind. I couldn't believe they did it. Right, yeah, Horde versus Alliance again. At least give me a good reason. Right, like, let's say, like, in the same vein as, like, the old reason why Horde and Alliance hated each other, like, it's... Here's the thing, is, like, the way Horde and Alliance used to work was misunderstandings. It's actually a lot like a lot of really good war stories out there, was that was Thrall and Bloodhoof and stuff like that, like, good guys? They are. They're good dudes. Oh god, what's the... I don't remember any names. Rexar. I remember that one. I didn't need help on that one. Rexar was like a good dude, you know? Thrall was a good dude. Like, we had all these, you know, good people, and then what do we have? We have Grom being an asshole. And because Grom's an asshole, the Alliance is like, he's a fucking dick. So fuck all y'all. And then Thrall's like, but wait, don't tase me, bro. And we're like, nah, get fucked, you know? And then what happens on the Alliance side? You got Jaina being a good guy, but what does Arthas go and do? Fucks everything up. And then even from that, I forget the name of that fucking general. There was the Grand Marshal General who was in charge of controlling the Blood Elves, and he was a racist fucking prick. And so, like, the Horde's like, yeah, dude, humans are all fucking pieces of shit. And they're like, really? And they're like, yeah, dude, look at all this racist shit they did to us. They're like, oh man, that's fucked up. Right? And that causes both factions to just never get over the trust hurdle. They just constantly have problems. And that's a theme you can repeat in good, like, franchise storytelling. And I think Lord of the Rings is a good example of this if you read, like, what happened in all three ages. Is there can be repeated themes, but not repeated storylines, right? That's kind of what got Force Awakens in so much trouble, is they were trying to repeat a theme of New Hope, but they almost just repeated the story. But a good example is, like, repeat the theme of misunderstanding led to bloodshed and war, but they didn't do that. They just actually came out with a blatant bad guy. How do you think that makes the Horde players feel? You know? Gary! Yes. Garithos was the name of... Oh, I see what you're saying. You were not talking about Garrosh. Garithos is the name of that general that the Blood Elves were treated badly by. Yes. But I think Garrosh is a good example of them, like, repeating that cycle of not... It's not the repeat of the cycle. Garrosh was the beginning of the new cycle they're doing, and not them trying to fix things. The thing is, Garrosh actually was better than Sylvanas because nobody agreed with Garrosh. Even the orcs didn't agree with Garrosh. I mean, for an extent they did. You know, he had the Iron Horde and all that shit. But for the most part, up until the very end, like, the Forsaken's like, fuck yeah, Sylvanas, fuck them all. It's like, how does that make you play as a Forsaken player? You know, my main on the Horde is a Forsaken, is an undead. And when I'm going through and I'm clicking through and I'm doing those quests, I'm agreeing to Sylvanas' bullshit. That's true. That's true. Grum had the Iron Horde, but like when you agree to those quests, like the text box that you click on, as a Forsaken, you sound like you're in agreement with the shit that she's doing. And that doesn't feel good. That's not how I felt as a Forsaken player. I wanna kick her to the curb. I wanna be like, no, fuck this shit. Because they blatantly gave you a bad guy, as opposed to these misunderstandings. And honestly, I don't think we need the misunderstandings. I don't think we even need them anymore. We will go into PvP. We don't need a story reason to go into PvP and have the Alliance and the Horde fight each other anymore. I don't think we need it. Like, it can just be what it is, you know? Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting at with Sylvanas, is like, you know... Here's the big thing. This is the big, obvious kind of ordeal. And I really hope they remember to do something about it. But Vol'jin saying that the spirits told him the Loa told him she needed to be it. I need a direct connection to him choosing her as the war chief and why that ended up being the case. What was it that the Loa saw that they're like, it's gotta be her. It's gotta be. In one of the quest lines, it said he was tricked? No! Are you serious? What the fuck? Was it... Okay, that actually makes sense. Was it Inzoth? And not the Loa? Hey, no fighting. Or did they not reveal who it was? One Gil. Get the fuck out of here. Now, I think it'd be cool if it ended up being Inzoth. That sucks for, like, Sylvanas fans, because that means she got played like a goddamn fiddle. But, because then that means, like, she gets picked, and Inzoth's like, she's the most, you know, if you take, man, dude, I'm totally bad. Like, I talk about this shit a ton, but I don't remember fucking names. Oh my god, that ain't gonna help. Alright, what's the name of the old orc that was, like, countering Sylvanas a lot? I'm blanking on his name right now. What do I gotta turn this shit into? I think I gotta turn it into that prisoner, right? Wasn't like Thromosh or something like that? What was the name of that dude? Stun bombs, nice. Either way. If it ends up getting revealed that they're like... They're like, Inzoth is sitting back and watching what's happening at, Sarafang, thank you. Yes, that's who I meant. They're at the, like, tomb of, Sargeras, right? And Inzoth's, like, sitting back and watching the shit go down. And he's like, man, if I can get rid of Vol'jin, or if I can get rid of Varian, things are going to be a lot better for me taking over Azeroth, right? And then Gul'dan takes out Varian, and Inzoth's like, fuck, bro, I'm halfway there. Living out a fucking prayer. And then Vol'jin gets hurt, and he's like, fuck yes, this is perfect. And so he's like, I'm going to whisper to Vol'jin and tell him, like, oh, like, the only way that the Horde's going to actually crumble, like, I don't believe that little kid, you know, Varian's kid, Anduin's going to be good enough to lead a good enough alliance to take me down. I don't have faith in that. But then Inzoth's like, man, but if Sarafang takes over the Horde in Vol'jin's place, I could be in some fucking trouble. And Sarafang will probably help out Anduin. And, like, be like, we have to come together, you know? And I can see Anduin saying yes. So I gotta make sure Sarafang doesn't become the leader. So I'm gonna whisper to fucking... See, like, that's cool. That's a cool fucking story. Like, the weakest person to lead the Horde is Sylvanas. Let's get her in there, and she'll fuck things up and cause more chaos and make my job easier. If it's revealed that Inzoth played that hand, right? That's sick. But my point is, like, that should be very front and present, right? You need to write the story for your expansion Beginning, middle, and end. You need to get those 2 big chunks, and it's going to be part of the main story that nobody misses. And this goes back to me saying, like, do not hide this content in a random quest that's halfway through the rep grind that was revealed in a new patch, right? Like, halfway through grinding the mechanomes, you find this shit out. Because, like, a lot of times those patches either turn people on or off to the game. Like, some people don't keep playing because they're like, man, I'm not rep grinding again. I'm not doing it. And they back out of the patch. Or it brings people in, right? So, like, don't bury that big chunk of story in the middle of a rep grind. Or don't bury it in a raid that some people don't like to raid, you know? Like, have it be part of the leveling experience. It just like Legion. Like, we get the majority of the content we need to know from doing single-player stuff. And I said it before, Warlords of Draenor had great story, terrible gameplay. I stand by it, that the story that was delivered to you in Warlords of Draenor, we got the beginning, middle, and end just from leveling. You go in, you deal with most of the warlords as you're leveling, and then you see the reveal of the resolution between Thrall and Garrosh. You don't need anybody else to help you experience that, and then you don't feel this kind of bummer feeling of having to go and watch a YouTube video, pulling up Noble's YouTube playlist to be able to catch up on the story. Now, for the deeper, more rich details that add background to your favorite characters, yep, those are the quests that you got to go digging for. That's the stuff you have to go into raids for. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, and even, like, the don't bury your lore in raids argument is getting weaker and weaker so long as LFR keeps it in there. Like, when Warlords of Draenor was out, it was only the mythic version of that first raid that showed you the true ending with that fucking 2-headed ogre getting out and going and doing some of the shit in the storyline. That only happens in the mythic version, but if you play all the other versions, including LFR, of that raid, you don't get to see that. See, I mean, like, throw that shit in LFR, but have him jump out and run away. And then, like, in mythic, you get a chance to fight him and maybe get some loot. Cool. Awesome. Like, the reward system's still there for doing it on mythic, but bottom line is don't gate the story. You don't have to be good at Warcraft 3 to get the story of Warcraft 3. You can be really bad at RTSs. You can actually be as bad as humanly possible because there's cheat codes in it. But even still, even if you don't use the cheat codes, anybody who's played a few RTSs, you'll get through the majority of maybe the defense of Mount Hyjal will give you a run for your money, but you'll get through that game without it being too hard because they didn't make the single player that hard. But then if you go online, oh my god, you're going to get the fucking shit kicked out of you because the level of gameplay and expertise, and well, in the original version of Warcraft 3, now I can't speak to it. But, like, yeah, you don't have to be good, you know? And I don't know that really, like, World of Warcraft requires that you be good to be able to get raids down, but you have to know people, have a schedule set aside, and those people need to be organized. I mean, how many guilds set out there, and we've seen it in every expansion, how many guilds set out there stuck on the last boss of a raid as the new expansion comes out? So if you put important narrative on the other side of that boss, yeah, you could go click on a statue in Dalaran and see how it ends. Yeah, you could go to YouTube and watch it, but did you really get to do it? Did you really get to do it? No. Cancer, Jim. I think so long as they keep that stuff in LFR, I'm okay with it. We just hit 100,000. And I think that needs to not be a design excuse, right? It's not the same to watch it on YouTube. It's not the same to click on it when you're in Dalaran to see how Arthas dies. At the same time, though, like, yeah, the end of Arthas needs to be done in a raid setting. It doesn't need to be done in a quest line. So Like, don't let me be misunderstood there. I don't think you should be able to corner Arthas out in an empty field by yourself and you and one NPC takes Arthas out. You know, like, oh, Turian and you go to the top of Icecrown Citadel and you guys are the ones to kill Arthas. You know, like, no, I like that Illidan gets killed at the top of Black Temple. I like that Arthas gets killed at the top of ICC. You know, I like that. Just make sure it's available in LFR. And make LFR, I know people hate it, but make LFR easy enough that really people shouldn't have to try. LFR should be story mode, really. Like, let me see what happens. But again, this is coming from somebody who's obsessed, and always has been, with the story of World of Warcraft. It's one of my favorite lores out there. Next to Lord of the Rings, really. I think is the only... trying to really be honest and think about it. I think my second favorite, like, lore world is Warcraft. Lord of the Rings will always be number one, but I definitely like Warcraft's world more than Star Wars. I like it better than Marvel. I can't think of another world that I like more than Loader and then Warcraft. I'm gonna save that video, Goat Slayer. I want to watch that later. Shush. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think ICC is the best of those. Granted, if like you could give me an LFR so that I could get in and see the content of ICC, I was lucky enough that I was in a guild that got all the way to Arthas, and we never downed Arthas before Cataclysm came out. But I saw everything else in there, which is really awesome. It was a lot of fun. But like an LFR, to be able to see the content in ICC, right? Like, I don't know. But a lot of people just hate on LFR. They're like, oh, it's so fucking stupid, nobody's paying attention. It's just like, man, to me, it's got a different purpose. To me, it's communicating the story to people who need to just drop in, and they have 45 minutes right now, but they can't have 45 minutes to sit down and raid at the same time, and it's split up into chunks so that you can knock out portions when you have time, you know? Like, it's a considerate... It's a way to consume the content that's considerate of your time. And that's important. Where does the Warcraft movie fall into the lore? Like it's the start of someplace or in the middle? So the Warcraft movie is like an 80% accurate retelling of Warcraft 1, the video game. 1992 on MS-DOS PC game. Had the major story beats in LFR. Was there LFR back in Wrath? There was the system, but it didn't have like you just hit the button and you were in. Did it? We're setting up more for Shadowlands than this. What? Join us? What are you talking about? I'm confused. But I know that it introed LFR, but LFR originally used to just kind of throw people together in a raid. As opposed to the, like, you just hit a button, wait, and then all of a sudden you're teleported to the dungeon. Did they get that whole thing rolled out in Wrath before Cataclysm? I don't remember. Yeah. Well, and Wrath of the Lich King was the introduction of the source code that identifies the quote-unquote item level or power level of a piece of gear wasn't hidden anymore, and that's when the whole item level fucking thing started, and that to me, that's the downfall of World of Warcraft. Was that the source code gear score started in... Well, the mod was called Gear Score. And I think Blizzard's biggest fuck up with World of Warcraft, and I honestly feel this way, was that they took that mod and made it an actual feature. It's an actual mechanic of the game. And to this day, maybe there's a setting that changes it, and I don't know where it is, and I'd love to turn it on. But right now in World of Warcraft, if you wanted to click between two weapons and figure out what your DPS is, it doesn't tell you. You actually don't know which weapon is better. You're just supposed to equip the higher item level average. Like, the game's playing itself more than I am. Drives me nuts. But yeah, so drinking upon the movie, the World of Warcraft movie is about the orcs first coming into Azeroth from what was Draenor at the time, turns into Outlands. Gul'dan leading the orcs through the portal into Azeroth, which is just where they come in is pretty close to Stormwind, and Keen Lane and Medivh and everybody kind of like dealing with the orcs coming. It's the first fight, and then it's in the original game, what is her name? Garona. What was stuck in my head was Gamora, but I'm like, that's from Guardians of the Galaxy. Garona, she assassinates Keen Lane in the game. She sneaks into Stormwind, she gets down into the... I think what it is they capture her. She's like sneaking into Stormwind, they capture her and they put her in a cell. And then she breaks out of the cell and she assassinates, she stabs Keen Lane in the back, and then she flees. And in the game, Keen Lane being killed puts the humans of Stormwind into a furious rage, and they push the orcs back through the portal. They go into Draenor. They're kicking the shit out of the orcs over there, and Gul'dan opens a bunch of fucking portals to try and get them out of there. And that strain on the magic of Draenor is what shatters it and turns it into Outlands. In the movie, though, they make Garona into this good guy, and I forget how they spin it, but like he tells like Keen Lane wasn't gonna fucking fail, he wasn't gonna get assassinated, and then he sacrifices himself, and he's like, "You're gonna have to kill me." Yeah. Right. Yeah. But talking about I'm talking about why it's important that Keen Lane gets assassinated. But yeah, in the movie he's like, I don't know, he looks at I forget how it happens, but he looks at Garona and he's like, the only way our people survive is if I die here. Like, he has some prophetic realization that if he's assassinated, all the people of Stormwind are gonna survive, and that fucks it up for me massively, because, and this is the thing that I get mad at with Lord of the Rings, the movie too. I love that in fiction, whether it be sci-fi or fantasy, humans are a wild card. You can set your watch by elves and dwarves and orcs. You know what they're gonna do every single time. But humans, though, we're a fucking wild card. How we respond to stuff is so emotional and random that you can't predict us. And in Lord of the Rings, the Battle of Helm's Deep in the book, that's the thing, is like, no, the orcs did not. They had the Helm's Deep Rohan forces outnumbered. I think it was like 20-1 or something like that. They did not expect them, because they're humans, that they were going to get pissed and prideful and filled with a warrior's heart, and then, you know, in the twilight hours, hold the orcs back until the Rohirrim show up. But what do they do in the movie to make it more realistic that they held out? They sent in an entire fucking battalion of elven archers, which makes it almost easy that they hold the line, you know? But then that's exactly what is cool about the original Warcraft 1 game, is Keen Lane getting assassinated going into Warcraft 2. The humans are pissed, you know? That was the big deal, that killing the king, the orcs were like, if we assassinate Keen Lane, it's going to take the wind out of these human sails, and we're going to win. their leader's going to be killed. They're going to have no direction. And that's it. It's game over for him. But what's cool is that's not what happened. He gets assassinated, and the humans go the other direction. And that made it sick. It made it fucking cool. But then somehow... But that's the thing, is the whole point was you're not supposed to know that's a possibility. You were not supposed to be able to predict that that was going to happen. And then in the movie, somehow Keen Lane figures that out. Like, ooh, he predicted the future somehow. Because in the movie, Stormwind stays whole. Yeah, Stormwind gets completely destroyed. That's kind of one of the important parts of, like, Warcraft, was that World of Warcraft, when it came out, the roles had reversed for the human kingdoms, the two big ones, Lordaeron and Stormwind. Was Stormwind had fallen and just got rebuilt at the like beginning of World of Warcraft. It had just got rebuilt, and that's actually the whole story in Westfall. Is that like the Masons who helped rebuild Stormwind got dicked by the nobles and yada yada yada, and then Lordaeron just gets dropped by Arthas's actions. So. But yeah, the movie was all up to that last moment. I was okay with it. I was having fun with the movie until they fucked it up at the end. Yeah, to short answer, Draken, the movie is Warcraft 1. Clan Primer, Hunts. So this is Albina Fortress, and I just checked, and I don't have the thing. Oh, there it is. I mean, Warcraft's got a cool storyline. I just don't know why they don't want to fucking do something good with it, dude. It drives me nuts, man. Actually drives me nuts. Alright, so taking a look at this next one. And I actually think the game told me not to go after that Esper that I just got. Oh, no. No, they're telling me there's a different Esper to not go after. I stumbled into that one, though. Yeah, I think Warcraft 3's story is, like, the best. And I think Reforged is good enough for you to go through and play the original Warcraft 3 storyline. It's such a huge screw-up by Blizzard to delete the old game. The fact that they did that, I don't understand what the fuck they were thinking with that. They didn't get rid of StarCraft 1 when they remade it. Why the fuck did they do that, dude? Like, just completely stupid and 100% unnecessary move. Reforged was, like, the big game that I had been, like, if people were like, if anything could be announced at this BlizzCon, what would you want? I'd be like, dude, for them to remake Warcraft 3. Actually, I kept saying remake the Warcraft trilogy, is what I would have kept saying. Like, remake 1 and 2. Like, make a new engine for Warcraft 3. Go back, make Warcraft 1 and 2 in that engine, get it voiced, and then also have, like, Warcraft 3, like, redone in that new engine. That'd been, like, my wet dream, and it kinda, like, I don't know, I should have been excited for Reforged, but the fact that they got rid of the original format, that baffles me. Very easy to find. Traveler warp to the Babbling Vale zone of the Mosphoran High Waste. I don't even know where the fuck that is. I doubt that I have that. Babbling Vale. The High Wastes? I have no idea where this is. Oh, okay. Don't worry, you're good, man, dude. Oh, that's right. These nerds over here were always telling me I wasn't allowed to go this direction, but I bet you they're gone now. Yeah, they are. Okay. So I was gated here for a little while. Now I can get into the zone that they're talking about. All right, new zone, guys. Let's get excited. Yeah, Mountain Dew, you ain't hogging it up. We just chatted a lot there. Winner wins playing Witcher 3. What happened to Thousand Year Door? Winter bears a curse that's been on her family line for a millennia. She is unable to finish a game. Man, see, these guys are super weak. Stuck on the DLC boss for Heart of Stone. Which boss? I'm like aching to play Trials of Mana. I'm aching to restart Dragon Quest 11 because I got it now on the Switch, so I got that like ultimate version of the game. What's up, Storm? The teleporty dude. It's been a while. Are you on the final boss? I forget if that guy teleports a lot. Level 5, that's practically like right after the... Okay. Like, I'll just say that, like, knowing that this individual is a boss would be a spoiler. If you're fighting who I think you are. Okay, yeah. I know exactly where you're at. But yeah. Yeah, that's... Heart of Stone was good, but good gravy is... Heart of Stone was like one of the best DLCs I've ever played for like a console released game, you know? Like, it's straight up an expansion. But Blood and Wine? Oh my god. Blood and Wine could have been its own whole game. And I would have found it enjoyable. Blood and Wine blows Heart of Stone out of the water. Wary Wolf, huh? Yeah, you should definitely play Heart of Stone first because it came out first. Blood and Wine was second, but no joke, Blood and Wine is like 10 hours short of being an amazing standalone game. It's that, god damn, is it that good? It's so good. I liked Blood and Wine so freaking much. I wrote like an entire environment and quest line into my homebrew D&D campaign world. That's just like it. Like, I just... God damn, was it amazing. Yo, what up, bro? Yeah, there's so much on the plate that I want to fucking play right now. It's crazy. And then I got games that, like, you can't beat that are, like, slowing me down. Like, frickin' Deep Rock Galactic and Monster Hunter and shit that I want to stop and play, but I'm just like, you can't beat those games, Zig. Stop. Yeah, that's a good question, Winner. What kind of Geralt you doing? That might be an upgrade. It is not. Good God! A lot more evade. For only one less attack. I will take it. And that map is confusing as hell. What the hell is going on there? Okay. We've gotten distinctly... I was gonna say, like, we've definitely gotten away from the Star Wars themes. And this is definitely its own story now. And then I realized another comparison. That's really not... It really isn't. But it kind of is. We just had to track down the Sword of Kings for Ash. But if you think about it, it used to be her father's sword. So she has to go and track down this knight's blade that she can wield it. Kind of like a fucking lightsaber that I know. Luke didn't have to track down his dad's lightsaber, but him wielding his father's lightsaber was a thing. And Ash wielding her father's knight's sword, which... That's an important piece of So these are normal swords. These swords that have the really wide triangle blade, those are knight's swords. Only knight classes can wield them. Well, and some other classes, but it's distinctly different from a sword or a ninja blade or a katana. It is a knight sword. In this game, they call them two-handed swords versus one-handed swords. But in tactics, they're knight swords. They usually have like magical powers. And the Jedi are very knight-esque. What's up, bruh? Goku pull. Feeling pretty slashed? I don't know, I'm missing that one. Belly, have a good night, bud. Get some rest. Oh boy. Okay, so very tipsy. Too much zig cheer. Viking coat. Make anyone want to play Final Fantasy X? We got every episode of Final Fantasy X is currently pending on YouTube, so you just gotta wait. I think June 1st is when the last episode goes live. We need to. I'm gonna make sure, even if I have to do it myself, make sure that we'll have the Final Fantasy XI will be a singular episode. That will be ready for June 2nd, and then we'll start getting into Final Fantasy XII. And also, I need to decide whether or not I want to release Final Fantasy VII Remake alongside Final Fantasy XII, or like do Final Fantasy XI's episode, release all of the Final Fantasy VII Remake episodes, and then all of the 12. Or do you think 2 videos a day would be okay? Or is that too spammy? Two vids is fine. I've received feedback in the past of people saying like, dude, you publish 15 videos a day, because if you're a big YouTube viewer, you have like here's all the people you subscribe to, and they put out new videos. And like, if I put out too many videos, I drown Because I used to just, like, cut all my episodes and upload them in one day, and then I wouldn't work on it for 2 weeks, and then I'd cut a bunch of episodes and release it in one day. And that's not very cash money. I mean, we can do that. I'm not gonna sell that yet. Still got 29,000, that's good. How does it feel about things now? It's still, okay, no, I don't agree with that. No, I don't agree with mirror mail. I just don't. I know that it gives me 4 more defense, but then everything's mirrored and I can't heal a motherfucker. Black garb, let's go over here. What does it do? Magic power? That's too much of a bump, dude. Zig, you gotta keep me awake. Dude, why are you tired again? You just woke up. Like, 6 hours ago. Keep me awake. I'm gonna. I don't know how to keep you awake. How's the research on Zelda 1 coming along? Huh? I'll tell everybody what you're supposed to be doing and guilt trip you. Yeah, I'll call you out like that. Noah is the mod who was put in charge of helping me out with the History of Gaming series. And he's not doing it. I'm like, hey, get any of that research for Zelda 1 done? Nope, but I'm max level on Final Fantasy 14. Ting! Aren't I cute? Alright. God damn it. Alright. I'll do it if I have to. Hashtag glare. Let's take a quick break. Let me get up, stretch my legs. My toes falling asleep. So get up, stretch, do that thing. Get a whole bunch of, I don't know, just throwing it out there. Research about Zelda 1 done, and we'll be right back.